After school, I worked in various sectors before finally moving into photography about 21 years ago. I mean, because I used to work in medical lab, people call me doctor. So I remember telling my dad, even for my mom, that I was going to go into photography. And I just looked at, just call my mom, I'm at, that's my daughter's name. One be, that could go my that could continue, get your child and then pray for him. I think there's something wrong. The society didn't accept photography as a laid out career. Even from the government side, there was no value behind it. Universities were not offering it as a course. So there were just so many of those challenges. Access to knowledge was limited. Building system or structure around it wasn't commonplace. I think when you grow to a certain point, there will always be challenges. You have to make decisions. The hard ones, the easy ones, the crazy ones. You have to continue to make those decisions. Some members of your team will want to leave because they want to grow. Others might want to leave because they don't think they're finding value within the space. The days I've really wanted to quit. The days I'm so frustrated, I want to shut down, drive every of the team members away and say, listen, I can't go with this anymore. The days I'm so confused, I don't even know if to be angry or to be happy. And the days I've continued to just worship and say, God, thank you for the opportunity to be in this ecosystem. My kids in their school say that when they ask, what does your father do? They say he's a photographer. It's shocking. They're like, you sure? Yes. Is that all he does? Like, yes, my daddy is a photographer. A lot has evolved. Like I said, businesses have been built. In the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I think more photography company has registered more than the last 20 years combined. Yeah, because people are super excited. They're seeing potential opportunities. Yeah, I don't think technology becomes the harm or the good. I think it's the people. There will be a lot of deep fake images that will be very hard to detect. I don't want to say it will create harm, but I think it will put so much power in people's hand and people will make some decisions that might not be so great.
So now, so far, what has your journey taught you about yourself?
That I'm stubborn.
Today, we are not just having a conversation, we are exploring a journey. At Telescope 360, we believe that behind every remarkable individual, there is a unique story that goes beyond what we see. The decision, the commitment, the challenges, and the experiences that shape who they are. This is the Journey series where we document those stories. And today, we are sitting with someone whose work and impact has shaped conversations beyond creativity and the business space. Today, we are speaking with a renowned photographer who is doing so well in the creative industry. And he'll be here to introduce himself, talk about what he does, and we'll also you take us through his journey so far through the creative space. It's nice meeting you, Mr. Kola.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do drum rolls.
Okay, drum rolls.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Kola Oshalusi. I'm a photographer above everything else I do. I run an agency called Insignia Media, and I'm also the founder of a project called the BOP Networks, which is an abbreviation for the Business of Photography Network. And the project is focused on encouraging creatives to monetize their talents and build systems, build structure around what they do. Yeah. And yes, I'm a husband to my wife, father to my children, and I'm a patriotic Nigerian. Thank you.
That's great. So that name, Lucy. So, like, where did it originate from?
Oh yeah, it's my grandpa's name. It's he were from Ekiti State. That's what they say. How do I put it now? Let me explain to make it easy. So it's a mix of words, with Yoruba. I mean, like even other parts of the country and most of African countries, the names are a mix of words. So mine is Oshalusi. But if you break it, it's Orisha. That's the God, the eternal God, Orisha. Lucy means to watch. Some part of the verse call it Lugo or observe. Yeah, Lucy means to watch. So it means the gods are watching you, or he who the gods watch over. So it's Orisha Lucy.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's from Ekiti.
All right, that's great.
Yeah.
So, but the way it's, I get to see some people now, that's anything or something that has to do with a deity, stuff like that. They get to change it to Olu something, Olu that.
So it's interesting. I don't have anything against it. So people, fair enough with their belief, but and they're right. I mean, biblically, I'm a Christian as well. Biblically, there was a case of Jacob's name being changed to Israel as part of God's covenant, and Saul's name being changed to Paul, as something heralding his journey. But I think there's more to it. Eternally, I think there's one supreme God. I don't think I know there's one supreme God. I know every mythology believes in one supreme God. I believe in God. I'm a Christian. I'm a faith deep Pentecostal Christian. But I also believe in, and I respect the name of my grandfather. That's what has formed me. I don't think, except God calls me and says, Kola, change your name. I don't think that has anything to do with God's plan for me. I know that God's plan for me is perfect, because He said, according to His word, that my thoughts for you are of good and not of evil, to bring you to an anticipated, expected, prepared end. So definitely I know that where He's taking me is an amazing place. Where He's taking the name of Kola Oshalusi, it's a brilliant place. It's positioned me where I am to touch lives, to impact people. And I think it goes beyond the name of Shalusi, because my real name, my real identity is God, because I'm made in His image and His likeness. And the same way my grandfather was made in His image and His likeness of blessed memory. The same way my great-grandfathers were made in His image and His likeness. So we're perfect. The name He has approved is perfect. Oshalusi is perfect. It's the language. You understand? If I want to call God now, I still call Him by that name. I might not use the word Orisha, but it's pure Yoruba to call it Orisha Oke, Olorun Oke. You understand? So because even Yoruba mythology believes in the supreme and almighty God. They call Him the God of the heavens. You understand? So Orisha Oke. So it's still the same. So I don't think there's a problem with it. I love my name. I love Kola Oshalusi, and I see the God factor in every part of my name as well.
All right, that's really great.
Thank you.
So now let's come down to business. So
There's money involved.
okay. So now we are going to the beginning, and which is, can you just take us back to the beginning?
When God created on the earth?
No, when you created this business of a thing, like your early stage into the journey of photography and the creative industry at large.
So after school, I worked in various sectors before finally moving into photography about 21 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, which is what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I had studied science lab tech, worked in medical science for a while, and then moved back to university to study computer science. Majored in graphics, worked in data science, and then somehow I found myself in love with photography. I mean, photography found me. I like using that word. And that's what I've been doing. Luckily enough, I think because of my work experience, I sort of know that this is what I'm going to do. I mean, when I made up my mind, because I left what was paying me, whatever was paying me, to do this. So I knew this was what I was going to do. So I thought in my mind I wanted to set up a business around it. Not that I was clear about the whole vision from the word go, which is a normal thing. You're never clear about what it's actually going to be. But I knew I wanted to do a business around it. So what I did was put that in mind. So from registering the name of the company as Insignia and not as Kola Oshalusi Photos or Kola Oshalusi Photography, for Kola Oshalusi Media. I registered it as Insignia Media so that it could, grow its own identity. So I moved from that to starting out just me, but having the mindset that it is a company. So in reality, started putting structures in place even from the very word go. Not perfect structures, not the greatest of structures, but it was something we were putting in. I started as a business name, then evolved to become, when it started, we were expanding and doing a lot of things. It wasn't just photography, it was videography, it was non-linear editing, which is what you call editing or post-production now. It was, it was anything I could do. It was possibly model management, it was this, it was that. I just was doing everything within that system before, photography became the most profitable part of the venture. And we upgraded to become a limited liability company with shares and partners, within that ecosystem. And then, and the rest is where we are.
That's really, it has really been a journey.
Absolutely.
And a journey of 20 years.
Yeah.
That means this journey is really, this documentation is really required. So that's really a great journey. So I would say, was there a defining moment where you knew that this is the path you want to pursue?
So, in all fairness, I don't think it was a defining moment. I think it was me primarily acting out of fear. I had gone back for my degree. I knew I was going to graduate. I knew what my age was going to be by the time I graduated. I knew NYSC might be a problem. I might not be able to do it because of my age. But beyond that was also the fact that it was that early era where Nigerian businesses were focused on age. We were fresh with age. You see every recruitment for new, they're looking for kids that are 21 to 25.
With 5 years experience.
With 5 years. I know I don't have, my age was way beyond that. Even if I had the experience because I'd been working, but age was a big factor. And then if you had to calculate from the day I earned my degree, it just won't tally. And then even if I say experience, the experience does not come within the sector and the ecosystem that are available. So it was a bit more out of fear that I say, maybe I need to find something to do. So while I was working, I was taking myself on courses. There was no YouTube, there was no Facebook, there was no social network except for like MySpace, Yahoo, Hotmail, my
Skype.
No, Skype was
okay. Skype was for calling.
Skype, okay. Skype is just around the corner.
Yeah.
So it was, MySpace was the main thing there. So they had all of that, but it wasn't a learning platform. And there was no YouTube where you could pick up videos. So it was more of downloading PDF to read. So I was doing a bit of that. Then I found studios I would go spend time with them weekends because I was working during the week and all of that. So just so I could, improve my learning and my understanding and then serve in my own little way. The industry wasn't structured, built like what you have now where there's democratization of knowledge and people can access knowledge easily online. It wasn't that available. So you needed to tutelage under someone, you needed to learn the ropes, understand what the camera is. Because digital was kind of fresh in the space, so it was more of analog. So there was no room for so much error and margin for error like you have now, where you just press the delete button. Delete button will not delete film. You understand what I'm saying? So when you had limited number of exposures within your film, which is about, depending on the film, you're rolling with 36 or whatever, was 36, 24, whatever. That's what you had then. So there was the challenge of that, to operate with. So those were what I was operating with. But the key thing was the fear of, what it was. But when I finally made up my mind that that was what I was going to do, I just told myself I have to do it, not knowing how I was going to go, but I knew I had to do it. So there were so many other things I kept doing, because, fresh into the space, I didn't know anyone. So it was more of a struggle, striving and all of that. So to doing every other thing I was doing. Then I found a niche, along the line. I found a vacuum within the industry. which was red carpet photography. Yeah, so I found that niche, and I kind of plugged into it, and I kind of defined my value, and that sort of helped my journey in the long run. Yeah, so the rest is what it is.
Okay, it's going. The rest
It's
is not,
going.
it's not yet. It's
No,
true.
it's still going.
So, in what you said, I discovered something that's integrity. The part where you said you already knew your age by the time you've done with university and all, everyone is stuff like that. But looking at it, we are in I'll say we are in an era where some people don't even mind. They'll be like, oh, I shall won't collect that. It's 70K allowance now. So they have no choice. They just have to just do something to their age just to tweak it to make sure that they go through that experience, that process. What can you say about that?
So it's a value problem. It's a societal problem. It's a societal value problem. So I don't blame them. As kids, all kids are born blank, don't know anything. It's what society has taught them. So, and I think the blame should not totally be on them, even though those who will go through corrupt ways to do things, yes, the law is no respecter of anybody, and you can't say you're ignorant of what is wrong. However, I think it's a societal problem. So the first question is, why do they do it? Or it's, let me to make money. Or the system requires me, I have to do it. So whatever it will take me, I must do it. So all of those pressure and demand takes away integrity and leaves people with limited choices. Now, does that suffice for people lying, trying to know? But I think it also reflects the failure that we've created as a system, as a culture, where the respect for who we are, the value we carry as Africans, as Nigerians, are no more seen. You understand? From parents that support their kids doing wrong, from parents being too busy to have time to take care of their kids, from the society, what society exposes the kids to. When we were younger, and people say, oh, life is, I don't believe so. So when we're younger, if you mess up in a neighbor's house, when the neighbor beats you, they now come and tell your parents. Then your parents now start fresh beating. So training a child was communal. You can't even go to your neighbor's house to steal.
Community projects.
Absolutely. So there was the fear, there was the respect. But those are a lot of things that we're losing within our society now. So when you look at it from an integrity point of view, it's not just the fault of the child, the person that is doing those things. It's the faults of what society is subconsciously and unconsciously building now that we need to be very careful about, and God help us that we quickly identify where we are and start looking at solutions around this. Otherwise, we might go to a point that we as a society were not able to deal with corruptions and failure of the system.
That's what.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'll ask that, what challenges did you face early when you started?
Various challenges. Various. It comes to deal with it. Access to knowledge, access to fund, access to financing, access to network. The value proposition, people didn't value the art like what you get now. So now you're a photographer, you're charging some, you're dressing up, you're driving. Not that they were not successful photographers, but acceptance was not like this. I remember telling because I used to work in medical lab, people call me doctor. So I remember telling my dad I told my dad, even for my mom, that I was going to go into photography. And I just looked at, just call my mom, Yamati. That's my daughter's name. Wambi, that could go my that can continue, get your child, let them pray for him. I think there's something wrong because the acceptance was not there. They couldn't fathom. How do you go into photography? What are you going to do in photography? They didn't see any value in it. So those were the challenges. The society didn't accept photography as a laid out career. There was no, even from the government side, there was no value position behind it. Universities were not offering it as a course. So there were just so many of those challenges. Access to knowledge was limited. You didn't have places where people were doing continuous training like what you get now. So those were like core challenges. And because it wasn't seen as a profession, building system or structure around it wasn't commonplace. People were just photographers, were not building system around the art or the business of photography itself. So those were quite a lot of those challenges that we faced, And when people don't value it, they don't pay for it. So, getting paid based on what you do became a challenge. People were not valuing it. It was a big problem, you understand? But yeah, we're here now. You can proudly say it's gotten better. There's more acceptance to it. People are seeing the importance of it. I mean, I don't think there's any time in history where photography has been so much more demanded. There's smartphones now, there's smaller cameras, there's bigger cameras. Everybody's creating content, everybody's creating something. People are taking images of their kids, because it's been democratized, there's access to quite a lot of things now. So yeah, there was the challenge, but yeah, it's a challenge that we continue to surmount and we continue to overcome. Yeah.
All right. So you made mention of business of photography. Should we call it a project or a platform? So what inspired you?
So interestingly, it's a mix of both. It's a platform and it's a project. And this is what it is. So the business of photography, I'll start with the inspiration. Inspiration was just pretty funny. I was communicating with a couple of young photographers because then we used to do, because for me, most of my projects, come from a place of empathy and desire to impact. So we used to run a program within the business where we take on about between 6 to 10 interns every year. We train them free. And then at the end of about 6 months, to see the ones that are really valuable, want to learn and all of that, we absorb. And then we put them on the payment system and then we're paying them while we let the others go. But then I was speaking to a couple of young photographers who, their work are so beautiful, but they were not making money. They were not really building anything around them. And it was quite a challenge. So, and it wasn't just one person, it was quite a few younger photographers I was speaking to. And I said the biggest problem was that there wasn't anything much structured around their art. And for me, that was a challenge. I looked at that. I looked at the fact that because they also didn't understand the business, they were creating chaos within the ecosystem. Because you see, when they make some decisions about billing and all of that, the person they're speaking to automatically size of the industry based on those perceptions and valuations. So for me, it was a big deal. So what we decided to do was set up a platform for people to learn. So we started with the Base of Photography blog, where it's a website, it's an online magazine where we're just putting information. We had a directory, where you can search for photographers. We had, place where we have editorials. We have, columns, news, editorials, tutorials, whatever. Place that became a hub for information for photographers called www.thebusinessofphotography.net. So we saw it more like a network, where people can learn, where people can do all of those things. We infused a newsletter so that people can actually get information on what's happening in the industry. And then it was while we're doing that, we realized that, listen, this is not enough. What if we pulled a conversation together so that photographers could learn? But we understand that we're focusing on the business, not training people to be photographers. So the model we applied was whoever we're bringing in to train to teach, we're going to teach the business side of it. So we realize that our main people that we need are not just photographers. When it comes to those who will be on the panel, those who will teach, we realized that we needed people who were doing business, because photography is like any other business. It's just the product that is different. And the product itself is the art. The product is photography. So we wanted people to be able to do that. So when we decided, or when we made up our mind to do that, we literally focused on bringing people outside the industry. So we had panel for government, we had panel for finance corporations, we had a panel for the business developers, we had a panel for the legal, because we realized that for us to build a business, a system, an ecosystem, there needs to be knowledge of everything. We needed other people to be part of it. We needed the government, we needed decision makers, we needed the financiers, we needed the advertising companies, we needed all of these people. So when we started the conference, that was what we were focused on. We bring people from finance, from judiciary, from government, even legislators, members of House of Assembly, members of House of Rep. We started bringing all those people, into the conversation so that they speak, they understand. So it became a two-way kind of conversation. They teach what they know, they hear what they don't know. So that way it became a melting point for those within the industry and those outside the industry. Then when technology came, we had conversations and conferences where we focused on technology. How do we bring technology or technical experts or programmers or, IT professionals in the same room with photographers or creatives? How do we build solutions? How do we build, programmable solutions? How do we use tech to solve the problem within the space? So, those were the things, we thought about. So along the line, we started building smaller projects. So the series, the conversations, the Create with Her, we just started building quite a lot of all of those things together to be able to, build a kind of ecosystem that is business driven, which, is our dream. And yes, in the last 9 years, we've been building that. We've been looking for partnerships that favors the industry. Most of it has been free. So every part of the work, every part of the conference is free. We just get people to come in, and we've been very lucky to have partners and sponsors. Yes, it was fundamentally funded out of our purse, which was extremely expensive. But now that people are seeing what we're doing, there's been quite a lot of funding support from a lot of other people who are coming in to put in their funds and to help us build, narrative and what we want. Yes, so that has been our journey.
That's really great.
Yes.
Because I remember that I've attended your program twice.
Oh, okay.
That was
our program.
What's the name of this program?
African Creative Markets.
Yeah, African Creative Markets.
That became one of our technical industry partners. Yes,
African
the
Creative
project.
Markets,
Okay.
and then the collaboration with Getty Image.
Oh yes, that's one of our partner projects as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But how was the experience?
It's
both of them?
Yeah, it was really great because
eye-openers for you?
Eye-opening for me, especially
Lovely.
For Africa Creative Markets.
Lovely.
That was the first time attending a kind of seminar like that.
Okay,
and
lovely.
then coming down to the photography part. I actually have flair for photography.
Oh, lovely.
And I've been taking some nice images
Oh,
too.
shit.
And so getting into the building, and I'm like, okay, what are we saying? What are they saying?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of, we need to tell more African stories.
Absolutely.
We need to tell more of these.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, it's true. Because I remember when I want to design something, going to Google, search for things, I can't really get images like
absolutely.
that. And it's more of we taking pictures
Absolutely.
and pushing it out
Absolutely.
there. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I would say at this point that you've started, so what are the gaps that you've identified and how do you intend to fill it up?
So I think there are quite a lot of gaps. I think we're feeling. I'm super excited that other people are also feeling. There are other projects that are coming into the space and are also focusing on problem solving, like we're doing as well. Can we solve all the problems? No. Are there so much opportunities? Yes. Do we believe that with what we're doing, it will inspire other people to bring solutions? I think absolutely yes, because there will always be gaps. There will always be challenges. Technology is coming. Intelligence is coming. Artificial intelligence is coming. It will pose new threats, new challenges. Challenges that are not even, challenges that solutions are not even within the arms or the confines of the photographer or the creative, challenges that needs legal solutions, that need government policies to drive it, that needs financing, that needs structured financing, challenges that needs proper business orientation and business knowledge to be able to counter it, that needs restrictive engaging and developmental policies to be able to deal with. So I think we're doing our little part. I think we're trying as much as possible to manage, whatever challenges we think are available now. But I think there'll be so much more challenges. I think one key thing we've done is we've continued to pave and prepare the way. We've continued to inspire people who in turn are inspired enough to find solution to existing problem. And I think that's the most important thing, the willingness, also the ability to be able to inspire others and then carry on the journey. Because in reality, the problems within this creative ecosystem is not the same even across the country. Not to now talk of across Africa. We're partnering with ACM and the Zambian government for ACM in Zambia this year, which will happen from the 2nd to the 5th, of July. And I can tell you one thing for sure. I've been there to Zambia to speak with the creatives, and I can understand their challenges as well. It's some of it are peculiar, across borders, but it's different, a little bit different from our own challenges. Now, there's so many things that the government across Africa are doing that we're not even taking advantage of because we don't even know about it. The AfTA agreement, the free trade agreement across Africa, we're not taking advantage of it. The need for possibly tax exemption, for import of things within that system, we're not even taking advantage. So there will continually be problems. Let me not use the word problem. There will continually be challenges, that needs to be dealt with. We can only deal with as much as we can deal with. But what we've done and what we're doing and what we'll continue to do is to inspire other people as well to find a cause within the system, within the ecosystem, and pursue that cause to the point that, their pursuits and their drive brings more solution to those challenges as they continue to arise and continue to evolve.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, what's the hardest decision that you make while building this?
Building what now?
Business of photography, Insignia.
Do I see there's been one hardest decision? I don't think so. I think because I think when you grow to a certain point, there will always be challenges. You have to make decisions. The hard ones, the easy ones, the crazy ones. You have to continue to make those decisions. Some members of your team will want to leave because they want to grow. Others might want to leave because they don't think they're finding value within the space. Funding might be a problem. Expansion might be a challenge. Even your own access to knowledge or what you think you know and how that is changing. So I don't think I'll say we've had one challenge. Primarily, when we started out, we were self-funded. We're taking funds from our pulse, pouring into the project. It felt like a bottomless pit. And it was hard, But then we're lucky we're having partners who appreciate what we're doing, who are willing to. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of all those things that are happening. So I don't think there's one big challenge. I think there's been myriads of challenges. I think there's also been multiple and loads of solutions that we've continued to deploy in ensuring that the goal itself is kept alive, the vision is kept alive, and solutions are continually employed to solve those critical, confusing challenges. Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about the growth. So in the way people perceive you, like behind the scenes. Now nobody is behind the scene. Nobody knows what is going on there compared to the perception of how people take you in public.
Okay.
How has been the growth been like?
I don't know how people perceive, but I think the most important thing is continue to grow. And I think that's what, I mean, in this area of social media, people want to build a perception, even when they don't build the base of whatever they want to build. They just want to build a perception. So they frame images online the best way they can. I don't have anything against it. However, I think the most important thing is, what are you building as an individual? What are you building to ensure at the end of the day that the goal is not about fame. The goal is about service. It's about value. People only see what they see, or sometimes they see what they want to see, which might not be the true perception of who I am or how I've built. The days I've really wanted to quit, the days I'm so frustrated I want to shut down, drive every of the team members away and say, listen, I can't go with this anymore. The days I'm so confused I don't even know if to be angry or to be happy. And the days I've continued to just worship and say, God, thank you for the opportunity to be in this ecosystem. Thank you for the people I've met and I'm meeting. Thank you for the impact, I have made and I'm making. So I think those are the most critical things as against how do people perceive me. I think people would, because the way you see what I do, not be the same way another person will see what I do. But people have freedom to their opinion. Mine is not to worry so much as to how people will perceive. Mine is to build what I know is true, what I know is genuine, just to be sure that I'm not pretending. I'm doing what I like, I'm doing what I love, I'm doing what will add value, because I'm about value. I'm doing what will add value, what will make people happy, what will make people prosperous. So I think for me, those are the things that really, truly, deeply matters beyond perception. But perception is great. I mean, that's why we do what we do on social media and build our brand. But I think when you do what you do, you also help people build the right perception. People see me as somebody who facilitates conversations around the business of photography. I see myself sometimes as just the guy that just wants to make money and go to his house and take care of his life. Sometimes I'm seen as that versatile photographer. But to me, I just love to shoot events. But it doesn't mean that when client brings money for me, commercial photography or portraits or other things, I don't do it. You understand? So I think it's more of what I do and what people learn than me trying to build a certain perspective or a certain perception, which might end up not being true. So I'd rather build based on what I do, let the trust itself build, and then that becomes easier.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So you made mention of the days that you felt tired, you felt like, should you continue? So what has been keeping you going all along?
I think it's the impact I see that we're making, especially for a project like BOP. With Insignia, it's easy. It's when you're making money and you're able to pay salary and you're taking care of yourself. The general one is very straightforward. But I think with the best of photography, I think it's the impact. I think it's what I see the industry become now. I think it's the growth that I see within the ecosystem. I was speaking at a conference, I was giving a keynote address this year, and I said, listen, one of the things that gives me joy is when I see photographers now hiring, forming an integral part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Nigeria. Super exciting. When I see young people building, when I see young people building, when I see young people coming into the space, when I see the sub-sectors developing and evolving out of the system, when I see people within the value chain making money, I think those are the things that, sort of inspires me. And when I clearly see growth, seeing that my career, my profession is more acceptable. My kids in their school say that when they ask, what does your father do? They say he's a photographer, and it's shocking. It's shocking. They're like, you sure? Yes. Is that all he does? Like, yes, my daddy is a photographer, I think for me that's powerful. I think those are the things that actually keep me going. And when I sit with my team, my amazing team, young people, I see the impact. I see the desire for them to grow. I see the desire for them to take on the baton and run the next 20, 30, 40 years. I think that's what keeps me going. Beyond the challenges, it could be frustrating. Another thing is the satisfaction you get being part of something bigger. I shoot a campaign for a project. I see how the client is excited about the image and the impact it makes on their brand. I shoot festivals, and the whole world is really, excited about it. I shot Lisa B festival last year, and when I went back this year, the turnout was almost 4 times the turnout last year. People were excited because the images we shot, created, massive impact. I think, those little things, the portrait you shoot, how people say, oh, the portrait got them a better offer. The event, you shoot, and the client sends you a note saying, thank you so much. You really captured the mood, the moments, the excitement of our event. The people that you're able to impact, the friends you make. I think those are things that keeps me going. Understanding that this is life itself. This is living. I'm living. I'm enjoying life. I'm making impact. I think those are the most powerful and vital things that keep me going.
So now, looking at the photography industry at large, like what would you say has evolved so far in Nigeria and in Africa?
Oh, quite a lot has evolved within the industry. Quite a lot. I mean, you are here now, filming, A lot has evolved. Like I said, businesses have been built. In the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I think more photography company has registered more than the last 20 years combined. Yeah, because people are super excited. They're seeing potential opportunities. They're seeing a picture that turns a Mr. Steez to Mr. Steez. They're seeing a picture that turns Olajumoke, the bread seller, to an international model. So people are seeing the impact of that. People are moving into that area. So there's a lot of evolution. Technology has also come to take place. Post-production has become easier, even for motion pictures and for still pictures. Artificial intelligence, the nano bananas, all of that. The adoption of such technology has actually changed a lot within the system. Businesses that are being built are gaining more trust with bank and financial institutions, so there's access. The government, seeing the impact, has also set up the Ministry of Arts and Creative Economy, which technically, Tourism, Arts, Creative Economy, which technically now has focused legislation, focused policies for that industry. So I think a lot has happened. I think there's been a lot of growth in the last few years. And I think it will continue to get bigger, get better as businesses are built. People are lifted out of poverty. And then there's the collective impact of the industry in the country's GDP. I think it will continue to grow and continue to evolve.
Right. So what do you think most creative right now are getting wrong, especially in building a sustainable career?
So there's quite a lot, and I'll always go back to, we have information overload. So people are more about what they can push out than what they can learn. So, and there's so much that just keeps coming in. So people there's the challenge of the information overload. And because attention lifespan is also shorter, there's no willingness to learn, which I think are some of the biggest, challenges, right now. However, there's also the interesting part of the adaptability, the versatility, an interesting way that the younger ones are beginning to address the industry. So do I say the challenges nowadays? Yes. But I think they're also very interesting solution. People are lazier because technology is working, and lazy people define or they devise very efficient ways to do things so that they don't have to do too much work. You understand? Which might not be a bad thing about being lazy. So I think those are the things that are happening. But I think the biggest threat is the lack of willingness to learn, to intern, to grow through the process, which is affecting quality of imagery, the need and the desire to tell the story, tell powerful stories. It's when you don't research, you don't know history, you don't know how to tell the stories. I think those are the challenges, that are evolving or within the space now, and the solution will come by His grace. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you made mention of AI and how AI has really been helping out in photography. So, would you say it's going to do more harm than good, or it depends on it depends on the usability?
Yeah, I don't think technology becomes the harm or the good. I think it's the people. There will be a lot of deep fake images that will be very hard to detect. I don't want to say it will create harm, but I think it will put so much power in people's hand, and people will make some decisions that might not be so great. You understand? So in reality, it's currently helping. To some, it's a threat because they're losing jobs. Retouchers are losing jobs. All of them are losing jobs. Even photographers are losing jobs. Beyond the AI, it's also even the telephoning, the mobile telephone that are becoming mobile cameras now. They are able to churn out in, sharp in terms. So those challenges would be there. But I will not say is it doing more harm than good, or is it doing more good than harm. I'll rather say it's going to add value. It's going to take away value. It's going to add more jobs. It's going to take away more jobs. The primary thing is what part of that side of history or advancement or evolution are you on? Are you going to take advantage of it, or you're going to just let it roll till it pushes you out of business? I think I'd rather put it that way, that it will come, it will impact. The decision for it to be a good impact or a bad impact will be wholly dependent on people, how they respond, how they handle, how they manage, and how they connect to artificial intelligence.
Okay. So I'm looking at it, I would say photography is a sustainable business. So, and how can a young creative position themselves for that?
Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be fine. Last. So I think it's just learn, find somewhere to intern, be hardworking, be diligent. People will find you. Put up your work out. There's social media. It's easier to get clients now than ever. The social media, find opportunities, find places, find projects to do, be creative, stay creative. I think that's it.
So we're coming down to impact and legacy period. Now, looking at what you've built so far, what impact are you proud of the most?
The number of people who have worked with us in the last few years, I think that's the number one. Number two is how BOP has helped to galvanize the industry to become a business-driven ecosystem. I think those are things I'm proud of. And people have been able to touch, clients have been able to satisfy. Yeah, those are things that give me pride and joy.
Okay. So, what do you want business of photography to represent in the long term?
In the long term, I want it to be the hub that continues to promote creative education, possibly partner with projects to create learning platforms, be the go-to platform for every good thing from technology that will be deployed within the ecosystem to opportunities, to access to finance, to all of that, to even impact projects where it focuses on so many issues, gender inequality, um, 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 racial bias, and all of those. We want BOP to become that platform that is able to take care of all of those things. That's the real goal, beyond just being an education platform. It has to be an impact platform, a social impact platform. That's what we're pushing, that's what we're building, and that's what we're trusting God that we'll be able to build substantially in the next few years as we continue to grow. Yeah.
So, how would you like your journey to influence the next generation?
How would I like it to influence it? Oh, I don't know. Influence them. I can't shout. So how would I like my journey? I think if I ever want my journey to influence, I want my journey to influence them in the perception of understanding, one, who they are, two, understanding that everything is possible, three, understanding that nothing beats knowledge, and four, understanding that as long as their minds are set on it, as long as they continue to evolve, nothing can stop them. I think those are four areas that I'm hoping my journey, my story, whatever time I live, will impact generations to come.
So now, so far, what has your journey taught you about yourself?
That I'm stubborn, I'm resilient, I'm not as bold as people think I am, but I'm also very strong. But I'm also very compassionate, that I'm also a very fantastic helper, that I want to help and impact people, that I have a good heart, that I also love my country and my continent, and I want growth, and I want to see people grow. I mean, it's taught me that first year we were pulling almost 25 million out of personal pulse 9 years ago to do a project that nobody sent us. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up, but we're lucky that we decided to do it, and we're lucky that we're still doing it. And I think for us, that's the most impactful, that's the most powerful thing. Yeah. And then that has helped us to also learn. So for every time you sit and then people learn or other people talk, you begin to see yourself and question, how far you've come, and then begin to see opportunities for you to grow better as well. Yeah. And that's what it's done for us.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, if you were to speak to yourself, to your younger self, what would you say?
Say, like, continue what you're doing. To be very fair, I think if I was to speak to my younger self, I'll say the future is right there ahead of you. I don't think I want to change anything, but I'll say to my younger self to spend more time learning, spend more time choosing your network, so that your network helps you to build what you're destined for. I'll say to my younger self, enjoy life even while you work. Take good care of your health. When I say enjoy life, understand the most valuable people in your life. Are not the people who scream around, but your family, your friends, people who genuinely and deeply love you, who are not there because the vision is loud. Yeah, I'll say spend more time with them and learn to enjoy life. Nothing is permanent. Life is not permanent. We're only here by grace, by chance. Let's live a life that is worth it. So I'll tell my younger self to ensure to tell everybody he meets that he loves them and he wants to see them grow as well. Yeah, so I think those are the things I'll tell my younger self.
I hope your younger self listens.
Yeah, it's been an honor for me to be on this project and this sit-down conversation with you. I mean, we started with your name being Joan and then me, I say Joanne, but it's okay. There's no argument. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. I think it's important that we document our history. It's important that we talk about ourselves and scream about ourselves as much as possible. And yes, please, everybody click the subscribe button on this channel. It is the most important thing. Even if you don't listen to me, click the subscribe button and follow this channel as much as possible. It's not just me, but there'll be a lot of other people whose story, whose journey we're going to be telescoping, and then we're going to be looking into their life. And sure, there'll be so much for you to learn. But just so that you don't miss out on the new people that comes on this program, click the subscribe button and click the notification button as well, so that when there's a new post on the page, you become the first person, like the very, very first person to know that we've got a new post till she sees you or they allow me to come see you next time. Thank you very much. Have a good one.